positioned, and anyone trying to get there is really killed. As you just mentioned, aid trucks are not getting in either. They are intentionally stopped. And, it's an intentional starvation, basically. In the south,
Like Mao Zedong,
I was able to go to Khan Yunis and to Nusayrat and a few other middle region, but that became increasingly more dangerous. I that the reality on the ground is infinitely worse than the worst videos and photos that we're seeing in the West. There is a, beyond people being buried alive en masse in their homes, their bodies being shredded to pieces, these kinds of videos and images that people are seeing. Beyond that, there is this daily massive degradation of life. It is a total denigration of a whole society that was once high functioning and proud, and has basically been reduced to the most primal of ambitions. Being able to get enough water for the day or flour to bake bread. And this is even in Rafah. And the people in Rafah will tell you that they feel privileged because they're not starving to death while their families in the north, the ones that they can reach, because Israel has basically cut off 99% of communication. What remains are basically communications by people who have set up some ingenious ways to keep internet in the north. But most people in the north have no idea what's happening. As a matter of fact, at one point, I'm sure you all know Hussein Odeh, who is on Facebook.
We must drive them out. The occupation must end, and they must
she often goes up to the border between Khan Yunis and the middle area in the north,
where are the people in the world?
Can't go beyond. And she explained to me that a new truck that sort of pushed its way through, but was eventually fired on, people came up and ran up thinking that the war was over and people were returning to the north. So most people in the north are in total darkness and hunger and really have no way of communicating, no way of figuring out where to get food. And it's, what we're hearing on the ground is surreal and it's dystopic. What I witnessed personally in
of these Luciferian beasts
in some of the middle
upon
areas
our land
is
called
incomprehensible.
Africa.
And I will call it a Holocaust.
Wake up, Africans!
But it is absolutely
where is the black lions? Move forward!
Stories I heard from
you
people
must mount up and ride.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. No, Susan, I wanted to ask you, in your article, at some point, the indignity of filth is unescapable. At some point, you just wait for death, even as you wait for a ceasefire. But people don't know what they will do after a ceasefire.
Bombard and kill these people.
Talk about that even if there is a ceasefire. The level of destruction that the people face now in terms of being able to rebuild their country.
72,000 people died by the hand of a fake-ass invasion calling itself Israel with Netanyahu, basehead, crackhead, Netanyahu, jackass, Yahoo.
And, everybody wants to go back. They talk about pitching a tent on their homes and figuring things out. But a lot of people are trying to leave. There is a brain drain, basically. Those who can afford it, those who can raise the money, those who are able to get jobs elsewhere, who have professional skills, are trying to leave. They have children. All the schools have been destroyed. College students have nowhere to go.
Imagine that.
It's what's happening to people isn't just this death and dismemberment and hunger. It is It's a total
dismemberment.
denigration of their personhood, of their whole society. There are no universities left. Israel intentionally bombed schools and blew them up, presumably to ensure that rebuilding could not take place, that reestablishing a society cannot take place.
When he doesn't
without the
belong there,
infrastructure
he's
of
an
education,
invader.
of healthcare.
There is no such thing as Israel. That was made up by
And
Biden,
basically foundational
Biden and the
structures
British.
for buildings.
And many others who involved themselves in a bullshit for all 72 years have
Susan,
passed.
I wanted to follow up on what you said about a Holocaust, and you also
Then-
use the term genocide. And you say genocide
Now-
isn't just mass
and they're
murder.
probably going to be garbage
It's
in the motherfucking
intentional
future.
erasure.
Get out of my face.
Can you
The
take
world
that
must
from
stand
there?
up against this bullshit before it end up on your doorstep or have
Exactly.
it
I mean, one
already.
of the, like I said,
Or
one of
have
the
it
things that Israel
already.
has been keen to do in Gaza is to erase remnants of people's lives. So you have, on an individual level, homes complete with memories and photos and all the things of living. And I'm sure you know Palestinians typically live in multi-generational homes. We're not a mobile society. And so these homes have several generations of the same family completely wiped out. On a societal level, you have Israel has targeted places of worship, mosques, ancient churches, ancient mosques.
Imagine
They've
that.
targeted the museums, cultural centers, any
Imagine
place that libraries, any place that has records of people's
lion
lives, has
invasion,
remnants and traces of their
dumbass calling themselves
roots
is
in the land,
rotten.
have been intentionally
Come on,
wiped
something
away.
is wrong here with even with the name and the flag,
you know, it's-
which is
it's-
two pyramids
It's
pushed
really
together.
frustrating.
They're not from that land. There is no
us
such thing as
to
that, and they were
read
never there. They
Western media
invaded it
talk
and tried
about,
to
Israel's
use
targeting
themselves
Hamas
in,
and whatnot. They're not.
using
This is
a
always, and when you're on the
scriptural
ground, you
Bible
understand
that they
this has
say
always
is
been
a
about
Bible.
displacing
that they
Palestinians,
wrote
taking their
fucking
place
self.
and
Man
wiping
is
them
speaking
off
for
the
God.
map. That has been Israel's stated goal. I mean, even in this instant and before, in 1948, it has always been their aim to destroy us, remove us, kill us, and take our place. And that's
keyword.
what's happening now in
Move
Gaza.
in,
It's what
kill
happened
them,
in
and take their
1948,
place
in 1967.
to control that region, such as you did the African people
new
in
Nakba,
Darfur
every new
not too long
escalation
ago.
is greater than the one before.
We
And
must
here
stand
we now
up against this
arrive
type of
at a
tyranny,
moment
people.
of genocide
Stand
and
up
Holocaust,
against this type of
because
tyranny.
the
Point
world
Black
has
is calling
allowed
on all
Israel
warriors
to act
to stand
with
up.
such barbarity with impunity.
Exactly.
I wanted to ask you also, you mentioned what the world's reaction. More people have died in Gaza in less than 5 months than have civilians that have died in Ukraine in over 2 years in the war in Ukraine. And Ukraine is 40 times the population of Gaza. I'm wondering your sense of the failure of especially of the Western nations of Europe and the United States to act.
Imagine that.
The Western world has lost any semblance of moral authority, if they ever had any, or, you know, I think that maybe there was an illusion of moral authority previously, but I think,
Morally,
you know, what
they're
we
wrong.
have always known
Morally, they need to
is
get the fuck out of Africa.
that we are dealing with genocidal colonizers, but I think that is more apparent to the rest of the world at this hour.
Yeah.
And I think what's also happening is that Americans are coming to understand increasingly, though not nearly enough, that they're being
And we're
lied
going to take up that issue in part 2 of our discussion, which we'll post at democracynow.org. Susan Abu Hawa, Palestinian novelist. Thanks so much.